In 1803, in London, the body of an executed prisoner suddenly opened its eyes in front of a stunned crowd. This was not a horror story. It happened during a public dissection at the Royal College of Surgeons. The scientist, Giovanni Aldini, had just attached electrodes to the body of an executed man named Foster. When electricity was passed through the dead man's jaw, his body began to tremble and his facial muscles twisted. One of his eyes suddenly opened. When the electrodes touched his torso, he even flung his arms around, as if he were struggling to wake from death itself. Aldini was no charlatan. As the nephew of the anatomist Luigi Galvani, he inherited more than his uncle's scientific legacy. He also inherited an extraordinary ambition. More than 10 years earlier, Galvani had accidentally discovered during a dissection that an electric current could make the leg of a dead frog twitch. He proposed the theory of animal electricity, believing that life itself depended on an internal electrical force. Now his nephew wanted to take that idea to its ultimate test on a human corpse. Although Aldini's demonstration failed to bring the prisoner back to life, it helped tear away some of the mystery that had surrounded death for centuries. It suggested that death is a physical process that could be observed, influenced, and perhaps even reversed. But this discovery also fed one of the 19th century's deepest fears. If a dead body could appear to awaken under electricity, could doctors sometimes mistakenly declare a living person dead? Fear of being buried alive spread rapidly. Inventors responded with a bizarre device, the safety coffin. Some coffins were fitted with breathing tubes, ladders, and a cord tied to the person's wrist and connected to a bell above ground. The idea was simple. If you woke up underground, one pull on the cord could send a final cry for help to the world above. The invention may sound absurd today, but it perfectly captured the uncertainty of the era. The boundary between life and death was far less clear than people wanted to believe. Then 20th century medicine blurred that boundary even further. In 1960, modern cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, became formally established. By pressing on the chest, doctors could sometimes bring people with stopped hearts back from the edge of death. Soon afterward, external defibrillators made scenes of apparent resurrection increasingly common in hospitals. Death was no longer always an irreversible verdict. In some cases, it became a medical emergency that could be interrupted or delayed. But that created an even harder question. The invention of mechanical ventilation produced a condition medicine had never faced before. A patient's brain could completely lose function while machines kept the heart beating. So was that person still alive? In 1967, the world's first successful human heart transplant pushed this question to the edge of medical ethics. To transplant a healthy heart, doctors needed a way to determine when a person was truly dead, even if circulation could still be maintained. Medicine was forced to answer a fundamental question: what exactly is death? The following year, Harvard Medical School proposed a landmark answer: brain death. If all brain function is permanently and irreversibly lost, a person can be considered legally dead, even if the heart and lungs are still being supported. For the first time, the definition of death shifted away from the beating heart and toward the silent brain. But the real battle was unfolding on an even smaller scale, inside individual cells.